All right, welcome back. Started a new stream here. We just had a little internet downtime for us. But welcome back to dive 581 of ROV Sebastian. Currently diving on a seamount east of San Cristóbal in Galapagos. And while we were gone, while we were down, while you were away, we came upon this very cool rock feature. So we're currently just scanning down the length of this rock feature.
Yeah. Keep in mind too, I was just mentioning the cat that you're also getting this in the 5.3 kV camera.
I don't forget your cams, Dan. Don't you worry. I like this.
Yeah, it would be good to try and put the mesocams in the reconstruction because we might get a slightly different angle.
Yes, exactly.
You got me hyped on this. You're gonna have to count your housings when you leave.
What's that?
So you got me hyped on this. You're gonna have to count your housings when you leave.
One might have ended up at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know what happened. It just didn't make it out with the vehicle. On the last dive.
Wow, there's some big
Yeah, right.
nice and easy, everything nice and easy for you.
You're doing great. Just don't go
It's my first time flying the RV.
Yeah, I had it.
We could tell. Wow. Impressed.
Do you feel like you see this anywhere on the map?
Oh no, we're at 50 meters.
Gotcha. Close again.
Wow.
If it's what depth are we at? If it's interested enough, we can put a box of 7.
Yeah.
What is great, this is really vertical.
Yeah.
And it's like
No, that's the
full
map we
animals.
have. Flat.
It definitely makes it very easy to do this. As opposed to those ones where it's like jutting out and then you have to like fly forward and back in no time.
Yeah, this is the perfect spot.
I'm not sure how the end is going to be though. I didn't really see the end of this.
I think
It looks
we're
like it tapers
arriving.
down, scissors into the seafloor.
Yeah. Do the other side, and then I would suggest doing a pass from the top as well.
Are we all on it? I'll do 2 passes on the top. Let's get crazy.
You know what I would really like is one from the bottom.
There's that rock I'm
underneath.
talking about.
Okay.
Found it.
You
All right, I gotta go
get
a
too
little bit.
excited. Okay.
Is that the end?
No, I just got to try and go up a little bit. There's a rock right there. Can't really see how high it is either, but I'll just keep trying.
The first piece we got,
Going down a little
I
bit. If
think
that's
should be a
okay.
very beautiful.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That guy. That's what's stopping me.
Alright, I think we can
You happy there?
Yes.
So give me to
very
swing
happy.
around then.
go around that coral.
There's a marker. Got a marker in that.
Then we have
Flow features, do you think? Like on the top. Oh, you see you've got these linear like
Seems like a Dan question.
features on here. They're quite like
There's definitely
wobbly. You might like it.
It's about 13 meters. 13 meters.
Are you talking about the suction sampler?
It looks at
Should we go?
which would
certainly
suggest
can.
volcanic rock like a
Should
flow.
try to go a
Right,
little
and then
bit
it
down.
goes around things and sometimes get hard.
And
Yeah,
we'll
okay.
do for you.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what it
good.
was before.
Yeah, I can only nod
there.
in amazement.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's not possible to go a little bit down, it's okay.
No, I can go more now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That would be better to have the vertical parts with less holes. Yeah. That's
Liking that?
yeah. Maybe we can see the verticality. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
How long?
So
That's really good.
So for anyone online, what we're trying to do is move very slowly around this feature to do structure from motion image reconstruction. So if you've ever watched a movie in 3D, that's usually done with two cameras that are looking at the same object with a slightly different angle. But we can do the same thing with a single camera, but instead it moves very slowly around the scene, and so long as we can capture an object in 3 different angles, then we can reconstruct it in 3 dimensions.
Backing up a little bit so it's getting bigger.
Yeah. So it's amazing because living in the Galapagos for the VR.
VR, yeah, we've been saying we're gonna put that into a virtual reality headset. We gotta figure out how to. It's been done, so I know it's doable.
This is kind of like that biggest part of it, I think, right here.
Yeah.
We need to get all around, and then go back to us. Smaller. Just tell me if you want something else.
Fish.
Don't move, fish.
He's behaving so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they think it's the same fish. He's like, I'm on the other side.
You see the spines on his back there? He just puts those on. Like, don't even try it.
The only thing that we need to cut later in the processing is the dark sky, the dark water there, background.
It looks very. It's like very vivid.
Don't move, crab face. No.
Yeah. The crab
He's carrying another crab.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I'm not going to look at it. That's mess up your thing, so.
We can,
Love or cannibalism?
I'm almost at the end now.
yeah. I'm thinking is it pretty safe to go around the bottom?
You guys want to look at this crab or no?
Do some fossil photos, and then we can switch.
If you want a view from the top,
We should do a view from the top, but it doesn't have to be consecutive. We can look at the crab
Yes.
first.
Anyway, we'll have to do in 3 parts.
Just don't know if we've made it all the way around. We should try and make it all the way around to where we started.
Oh, sure. I also would suggest, if possible, if we're going to do the top, and it's shaped kind of like a triangle like this,
Yeah.
that we do one run
One
up
on
this
one
way
side.
and one run up this way, because the cameras are a lot worse if you're kind of going downhill, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That way we get all the uphill portions.
Perfect.
Oh, this is cool. You see how the duck like
Something that
cuts through?
maybe what would be great if we could have, like now they are going up, and we could come back the other side, because then we have the both sides of the coral. Then we're
You're
gonna have
thinking
one,
doing a circle the other way around,
just because now
like circling back around.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Then we have the both sides. Otherwise, we will have only one side
One
of the
side.
coral.
Yeah, we'll try that. Zach, are we able to circle the other way around?
Like basically do exactly what I did, but in reverse.
Yeah. And I can't figure out which is clockwise or counterclockwise.
This would be
Counterclockwise, right?
Yeah, that we're doing now.
Oh yeah. I'll trust you guys on that one.
Yeah. You are.
I struggle on a clock, so.
In this view, you can see it cutting through the rock. like this rock
Contact
cut
rock.
through the rock.
Yeah,
on the
okay, I
surroundings,
see,
right?
like that.
Contact, yeah. Contact rock, I think. Oh, the crap.
This would probably be cool, just like straight up panorama too, you know?
There's a lot of marine snow there.
What's that?
There's a lot of marine snow, sea snow. All the sediment that you see.
Yeah. It's
Lots of food.
almost everywhere we've been here has been like that. I don't know why. It's just so productive for us.
Yes!
The snow is just dead.
Everywhere. That's why we have some areas full of corals. But I'm curious why we have so many areas with so much dead coral.
You know what's kind of interesting is I just saw a little bit of a heat shimmer, so I wonder if there's a mixing of cold and warm water here.
What's 2 meters?
Yeah. And the other day we saw when we in the Arab, so we saw the water changing, very strange. When there is a look like when there is a difference of density, but then later my colleagues were checking, and what happened is that the temperature in like about 7 meters increased 2 degrees in temperature from like
Because of
8 to like 10.7.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why you saw we were able to see the water there kind of
small wall.
different. It was like blurry, strange water.
That's what I just saw a little bit.
Yeah, probably you should have seen that. Yeah. So we are doing this again because if we only do one side, then it's very hard. We will have only one side of the coral and the other side of the image will be black. But if we have both sides, then we will have the entire organism because we will have the both angles of the coral.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How long is this going to take to process it? It's got to be pretty intense, huh?
This is not that big. There are some wells that have taken me long time, but this one I think probably. The thing is, it's going to be a map, not only the reconstruction. So first I need to get the coordinates from the USBL, and then I have to match those two, and then I can upload that data, and then I will need all the pitch and all the information about the ROV. If I have all that, it will take probably less than a week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a feature that an intrusive, igneous intrusion. That's vertically or
Alright, so this is kind of where we cut over before, so you have to get a flip over this and do the other side.
Yes. This is very interesting because as I was talking with Kathleen, if we get this 3D reconstruction and we are able to put this one in VR, and we can give a copy to the Galapagos Island, the people from the Galapagos will have access to this type of video. And if you use VR, it's like if you are diving there. So it's a kind of outreach that you won't get other way. It will be very distant from the deep sea generally. Many people is even scared in general of the deep sea because it's dark. People think about the deep sea as something scary. But as you see, there are places that are amazingly beautiful, like the coral reef that you were diving recently. We were diving recently, and if people have the opportunity to see what is there and see that, like if they were diving, that will make that connection more strong, and maybe we are more likely to protect these ecosystems and care about them, because then we will feel more connected with them.
I feel like there's a lot of perception as well that the deep sea is barren and like a desert. And there's nothing down there, and obviously that's not the case. You know?
Exactly, yeah. Even here, when you see even the areas full of sand, you still see a lot of creatures. And if you find a coral reef, that's like an oasis of life. the real hotspot.
So you all would be able to make this into a video, not just a still image.
This is going to be a 3D model. Yeah, 3D model. We have already some from the close to Darwin it was from other year times. Yeah. This one will be amazing because the previous one was opportunistically. We weren't doing video specifically for doing 3D reconstruction. So it's more challenging, but if we have video specifically taken like this, will be better for 3D reconstruction.
I think I need to pan down a little bit. Seafloor's a little higher on this side. That's okay.
Yeah.
You want to get so organized.
Yeah. Probably we will try to do the same with the capture the coral, with some areas full of corals, and also have that in 3D. And it's not only that we do that, it's amazing that we can do that for outreach, but also it's not going to be just a nice image, but we want to make maps. So the idea is that with these 3D reconstructions, we can measure the corals, like we were there measuring them. And why that's important is because these are framework organisms, so they provide habitat. So if they're big or small, that matters, because they provide more or less framework for other organisms to live there. And we cannot measure that any other way. So
And you can quantify what all's on here and how many
we can quantify everything. We can geotag organisms.
Really colorful guy in there.
Yes, that's a fish.
That's fish.
Yeah, should come back and see.
Yeah, we did something like this on the hydrothermal vents
Did
at
you?
one point last year here, and that was cool too. And they
Yeah.
could tell a lot about the geology of it, I guess, by the way the
Right.
spiders went and things.
In relations between organisms, like if they are inhabiting the same corals again and again, and how far they are from the species, and then we can answer some ecological questions that we wouldn't be able to answer other ways. And it's great that this picture is representative, but it's small enough, so we'll be able to capture the whole structure, not only a little piece of it.
Alright, so now you want to go up the top of it, looking down, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. So something like this, but looking down as much as we can without getting all our feet in the picture, basically.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's do it a little bit like that.
Oh, that fish is beautiful.
Alright, you like that?
Yeah.
That work for you?
Try to have like a flat view from the top.
Yes. It won't be completely flat, but that's as much down as I can do. Okay, without getting-
That's good. That's good.
Here we go.
Also, the speed of the reconstruction will depend on the computer I used to. If it's a very good computer with lots of memory, that will be faster than if I do it in my laptop.
I think they have a computer on here that we could probably use.
Supercomputer, that would be great.
It's pretty fast. I think. I'll ask Alex.
Oh yeah, that would be great if we could already start.
Oh, it's right there. Hey Havens, you know, that super duper mega MMT computer. Is that available for scientists?
I mean, which mega computer?
Wasn't there like a $20,000 Mac?
Yeah, which one?
I mean, we've got some like new Macs and stuff. Yeah. It's not like a node computer or anything. That's what we gotta do. We gotta just buy like 10,000 Raspberry Pis, put them all in the void space, and link them all together.
That's amazing. We can try. I would love to. But for that we need, is it possible to get just this piece of video? Because now we know everything is in the NAS. It's possible to already start videos.
It's possible to what?
To already have the videos.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can get you this pretty quick.
Okay.
I think it takes maybe 15 or 20 minutes to be written on the hard drive, something like that.
Yeah.
And it'll be available.
Thank you.
Sure, I'll finish this line though, if that's all right. We're just doing photogrammetry. Okay. So we're just doing nice and smooth, and I already did all the sides, so I think,
Yes.
and now I'm doing the top one run, and I think you're going to do another run the other way across the top.
Right.
And then we should be done. It's this cool little knife edge thing we found.
Yes.
So the other end of it is really obvious where it is. On this end, you see that rock on the left of the ridge up here, up ahead there? That's the end on this side.
Okay.
On the other side, it just stops. So we'll find it. I wonder if we should turn the laser off.
No. Keep them on. It's necessary for our
To scale the thing
scale.
afterwards.
Yeah, to use it for scientific purpose, it's better to have them on.
Doesn't mess with your software or anything.
No, I can manage.
When you do the photogrammetry,
Yeah.
do you use those measurements to scale the?
Scale bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I need to do that.
Yeah, it's no very blind.
Because even with the best USB,
Yeah,
there's
I've done a
always
little bit. It's gotten a lot more approachable.
a little error. So better
One of
to
these
have
days
them
we need to
extra.
sit down and do it.
I don't know how much. I did some just doing just even with like a little blue ROV, just mounted GoPro straight down and just like cruised, and then
Features that you
took
want.
those and plugged them in, and
The other end
there was like a
to
tire
the
we flew over,
layering
and
and
also
the
got like
sheets
2
on
or
the
3
side and then the
models.
top. There should be a good piece of it. Is this flow band?
Is that-
Is that flow band or is it
I
inaugural
have
itself?
a feeling that maybe
It is possible to also get the USBL of this part of the video for time. Amazing.
All right, it looks like folks are still trickling in. This is, as the title says, part 3 of this dive. We lost our internet connection for just a little bit, so we started up a new one. What you're seeing right now, we are pretty far into a photogrammetric scan of this rock feature that we found. Very cool, very narrow, and quite long. Kind of like a blade of rock here, but the thing the scientists are excited about, it is encrusted in corals. So we have scanned down the length of it now on each side as well as on the top. And the idea is to use some software to turn that scan into a 3D model.
So you can do a rock and I'll do a scoop.
And you.
We can scoop first actually and then put a rock on top.
I'll be up. I'll be watching.
okay.
Just had Chill jump in pilot seat as we work our way back down this blade of rock here.
We have a position for the CCTV adjusting on our dive plan, but we have until 11. If there's anything
We still have a lot of information.
Yeah.
Tenemos que algunos corales sí, porque es que todo se pasó ahora. Tenemos dos corales abajo de, antes de tenemos uno de madrepora. Y de ahí tenemos un coral rojo que parece porque es un coral, yo no creo que sea, pero es una mezcla entre silvia y un coral. Pero yo creo que es porque es muy chiquito, sí parece para comer cuando se cerró, pero cuando está también parece.
If you're perhaps just joining us, we are currently on a seamount, or exploring a seamount. To the east is on Cristóbal Island in the Galapagos. This is the 5th dive of our Vertical Reefs of the Galapagos expedition, exploring the corals that are encrusting some of the rock features here for sure. And the thing of note here, right, and the title is Vertical Reefs, right? So these are sometimes, in the case of this rock, right, we're talking about a 90-degree vertical angle. And so mapping that from the more traditional approach of straight top down is quite difficult, right? You're not going to get the features, you're not going to get the detail. And so for this expedition, we have instruments that can be mounted onto ROV Sebastian, which you're watching footage from right now. And those instruments and the ROV can allow us to get a better perspective of these features by actually flying down next to these vertical walls and scanning them from the sides. So at some point, we'll be doing another mapping dive with ROV Sebastian, and so for that, we will swap on a laser scanner onto ROV Sebastian, and that laser scanner can actually capture millimeter resolution. So just this, it's just a little laser line. It actually looks quite cool. And if you just imagine, you've got this laser line, and as that goes over features that are not just the smooth sea floor, that line will sort of deform. It'll no longer just be a straight laser line. And the equipment can analyze that deformation and turn that into an actual scan of the terrain.
That's really cool, man. You have it, man. Yeah. Can we get like an end-on view of this to just kind of, what we're trying to say, yeah, then down a little bit, and we'll get some shots of it, because you can see the relationship between it and the surrounding rock quite nicely from this end. Down? As in like just normal facing camera that just descends slightly so that we're looking on at the top edge again. So at like the side cross section, at this view that we're looking at.
Yeah, just this face.
Sorry. Yeah, and in this view you can see the relationship between the vertical lava intrusion and then the surrounding rock. So we'll just take like a right. Yeah.
So you might have heard mentioned that the 3D model here, right, photogrammetry, taking a series of images, turning that into a 3D representation of what that series is about, or what that series captures. And part of the technology they're going to use for that is something called structure from motion. Right, so the idea is that we've scanned these now with these cameras, and of course, even though we're not doing it with a photo camera, we're doing it with a video camera. A video is just a series of frames of photos, right? So with us moving, each photo is going to be slightly different, and things closer to the camera will move more frame to frame than things farther away from the camera, right? If you think about looking out the window of a car as you're driving in the countryside. And the light poles or the power lines going by very close to you, I mean, those go whipping past. But maybe a house set back from the street goes a little slower to your view. And mountains far away, they barely seem to creep along, right? That's called parallax. So things closer to the camera, closer to your view, will appear to move faster, right? Because they go past your view quicker. And things farther away move slower. And so what structure for motion is going to do is it'll look at each frame of this video, and it'll say what items are moving faster that I can recognize frame to frame. Like in this frame, I recognize that this item here is also in the next frame. Which items move faster and which items move slower. And that informs the computer, that informs the model of what parts are closer to the camera and what parts are further away from the camera. And so by doing that and combining multiple angles, they can actually get a nice 3D representation of what we've filmed here.
Which one do you want to use here?
There's only one left. One of the 5 box one or rock box one.
Yeah, that yellow one. And if we do this first, we can go down as well.
Oh, the yellow net.
Yeah, that
Yellow
one.
handle. That one.
Yeah, things can interrupt or interfere with the photogrammetry, right? So the idea is you just kind of creep along slow enough that the main feature doesn't just blow by. It doesn't go real quick, but things drifting in the water, or if like a large part of the structure moved, you know, if there was a real big fish on there and it decided to leave, then that might leave a gap in the model, or might leave a really weird part. And so the software that's used for this sort of stuff, you can just import all these frames, or you can import a clip and it'll turn them into frames itself sometimes. And it'll go through and it will say like, oh, I don't know, this frame doesn't really seem to fit in here. Like you can set thresholds of how confident does the computer need to be about it. So yeah, some things can definitely cause issues. These little bits of drifting marine snow that you might see, just like little tiny bits, probably not a huge issue, but if we were kicking up a ton of silt, that could be a problem, right? If it was really murky, that's just going to make it more difficult to get those details.
So upside down and then shake it, it'll just turn itself inside
And
out.
photogrammetry really come a long way. It's very approachable now. I've done little models just myself, kind of out of hobby. And lots of like quadcopter drones. You can just sort of program to go, you know, quote unquote, mow the lawn over a certain area, and then reconstruct a photogrammetric model of that area. 3D printing, right, has kind of pushed forward hobby-wise as well. And with that, people trying to capture scans of small little items so that they can 3D print them again. So there's little hobby setups that can do that as well. But that's not to say photogrammetry is just this. I mean, it seems very nerdy, right? It's quite cool. But it is a big industry as well. Photogrammetry is used a lot in movies and video games to reconstruct items for 3D models. Geologically, right? If you're trying to survey an area, if you're trying to survey like a riverbed, a shoreline, look for erosion along banks and that sort of thing. I've seen real nice models very quickly produced from quadcopters with that. photogrammetry of buildings, even things like those 3D real estate tours, right? I mean, many of those don't actually use photogrammetry. It's just picture to picture to picture. But we're getting there where you can actually start to just walk through a building with a camera or 3D or a 360 camera in particular a lot of times, and it can put together a general model of the building. So it's very, very cool how quickly that is becoming something approachable to just anybody.
I don't know how much I can grab this position. I might have to lay it down.
Something that does cause issues for photogrammetry, it's not an issue here, but is kind of, there's some new tech to really take care of it, but reflections. You might imagine reflections can really throw off photogrammetry because the camera doesn't know what is and isn't a reflection. So that used to be a real big issue. Doing photogrammetry of any sort of super reflective or mirrored surface, good luck with that. But we're actually starting to get there. There's some new tech out there that's really exciting. That lets you sort of like capture an entire room environment, for example, and the mirrors don't necessarily break that.
Where you've got it there on that big one, and then moving into those smaller bits. I'm hoping there's enough sediment.
You can even do photogrammetry with your phone nowadays.
No.
I actually did a little scan of a piece of equipment here. We were 3D printing some bits for it, and I was curious if I could just grab a little 3D scan of it and import that, and we were able to get the scan, but really it was a pretty simple piece to make a bracket for, so we didn't need to use the model, but it was cool to see how easy it was done.
Yeah. It looks like it's on. Word.
So we're now scooping up some of this coral rubble
Yeah,
here.
you can try and break that kind of rubbly bit. Maybe it'll go. Got it.
That's promising. Twist.
Actually, that's
Great. A little too big for the oven. There you go.
there we go. Yeah.
So again, this sort of operation really
I want to drop this for a moment.
takes cooperation between the pilots. So Ben is our co-pilot right now. So he's the one operating the manipulator and trying to scoop this coral. But,
Yes.
you know, he's pushing against the bottom. And so that pushes the ROV around. And so Chill over on the pilot seat, he's having to sort of counteract that a little bit, try to hold us to the bottom with the thrusters.
This group, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so these aggregation and then once. Yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, that's let's go. Yeah, that's it, keep going.
Might be better off just adding chunks. Yeah.
No, that. those little bits.
I think the other point of doing it with the net is that it doesn't break. It's pretty good fiber.
Yeah.
I'm gonna regrab this.
The straighter you get onto it, I think the better. Yeah.
Take your next one.
Up at the top, yeah.
Made some mod comments to it yesterday to try and stop that. Couldn't rip it around the top.
My suggestion is that maybe you just put this in the basket and ask them to just load up the basket on the
You want to do this one?
You just got to regrab.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys just let us work a little bit.
No, that's fine.
We'll get it. Promise me. Get them all.
It's a big piece.
Oh. Working better, man, or you want to do what they're saying and just put it in the basket and toss them in?
Yeah, we could do that too. I think it's
It's so like it's spiny, isn't it? So it's just sticking to the outside.
They're almost catching
inside.
more.
Yeah, yeah, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
This type of coral.
Velcro coral.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just want to dump this inside the basket and grab a big piece.
And then we can just
Yeah.
grab big pieces and put them on top. Yeah.
That came out of the left out of Rockbox 1, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a new
The other thing
collection
you do is
method,
just hold
really.
this off to the left, grab them, and just toss them into the net.
Yeah.
You could try that too
Yeah.
if you want, sure.
All right. Whatever's easiest for you, because either way is easy for us.
Cool. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah.
I would pick that up so you have room for stuff to go into it.
Yeah, that's good. But there's all that stuff right around there. Yeah, there's all all that stuff where the lasers are. There's tons of it.
This way we might avoid sea urchins and growing stars as well, which is always good.
I think that you definitely got a bunch of those.
Let me take a look.
Big pieces.
Have you had an opportunity to look at the coral that you have already collected?
Yeah. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot of rubble. Yeah. There's some good pieces that seem to be of varying age as well, which is what we want.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the sampling strategy for the fossil corals is a numbers game. It's statistics. You just got to get enough of them and date enough of them and then see what the ages come out to be and then try to make a good estimate for what that means in terms of overall
That's very cool.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's good.
Perfect.
take a frame grab of that?
Got it?
Somebody take a frame grab of it.
If you want to get close up, can you?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, thank you.
No.
You might want to try to mash that.
Yeah.
There's that one that's underneath it.
Yeah, for anyone just joining us, you are watching live footage from the remotely operated vehicle Sebastian. Currently 337 meters below the surface of the ocean on a seamount east of San Cristóbal Island in the Galapagos. We're currently settled down right next to this rock dike here that we found just recently. Very excitingly, it was encrusted in coral. So we ran down the length of that and got a couple video scans that the scientists are going to try and make a 3D reproduction from. And currently we're just collecting some of the coral rubble from around it. And scientists on board will be able to actually analyze that rubble and try to figure out the ages of that rubble, how old it is. And as we were just speaking, they've been collecting quite a lot of rubble so far, and they're going to continue to do such. But they've been getting a variety of ages, apparently, just looking at it early on. It looks like a good variety of different ages in there, which is good, because they want to try and collect enough to get enough data, right? So it's exciting.
That's a long one, isn't it?
Maybe another couple. I didn't remember that. It's one like right under the bottom of the deck, I think.
So currently the morning here on board research vessel Falcor 2. Just coming up at 9 in the morning. This dive's going to go until, I don't know, midday or so. Then I think we're going to scoot a bit, do a CTD cast or so, and hopefully start another sampling dive. I don't have a time frame for that yet, but
I think
this is certainly not the last dive.
That'll be good. Thank you guys. Yeah, so there's nothing else in the box. Hopefully you can squidge it in and then you can pop your rock on top. Yeah, that's perfect. Hey,
Oh, nice crinoid swimming away there.
You want to grab this one?
Such a cool
I'm gonna
critter.
grab the one out the outside of the net, but maybe one simple.
So we did lose our internet a little bit earlier. Let's take a look outside. I haven't actually really checked out the weather yet, so we were mostly just running around trying to get internet back up for y'all. Let's take a look.
nice. Stuff is not the easiest to.
Well, it's so spiny.
All right, there's view over our helideck, and yeah, it's overcast. It's not too bad, but obviously clouds can mess a little bit up. So we will keep an eye on that for y'all. of course, welcome to everyone that's joining us. If you're watching live on Facebook and YouTube, you can type on in that chat. Always fun to hear who's watching from where. But also, if you have any questions, right, we can answer those as time allows and as our scientists are able.
Where do you want to put this?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on those clouds, and hopefully it doesn't get too bad out there. Just looking to stow this coral rubble now.
Okay, that was an N17. Up to stow.
Can you look at the arm for a moment? Can you look at the arm for a moment?
Shoulder right. Just drag it over the top. You're going to struggle to get it high enough. Yeah. See? You're doing good. Excellent.
Okay.
It's close. So you just pitch left out. Right. There you go. Yeah. Just shoulder right. Pass a little bit over and it'll. Right there. Shoulder back left now. So just put it in one. There you go. Yeah, I think is it possible then to rotate that? To flip it over basically? Flip the net over on
It's
itself?
like a resistant
This way? Yep. That way it kind of traps that one piece that's close to coming out. Yep, exactly. Oh yeah, you're good. Hopefully we get that handle to fall forward or left.
Yeah.
I think would be best. Just give it a little nudge to the left, just to trap that one top piece.
That's
Just
great.
okay.
Okay, so now we're rock hunting for a piece that we can pluck off the wall there. And ideally, we can find some sort of existing seam that gives us a little bit of a head start in terms of breaking a piece off. And I don't know whether, if you think like something like this might be, like, because it has a bit of relief underneath it that you grab, or it could either be from here, or it doesn't really matter. You definitely want to try to get it off.
We can try that one, but I don't see a seam, so it doesn't look like it'll break.
Yeah, I don't know, like this bit right here. I don't know if you can stick the fingers in there, or...
Well, you see that? Yeah, that piece. You see the crack?
Yeah, up in here.
Very potential.
Try to grab that from the top or something.
Like your thing?
So Dan, how would a rock structure like this come to be?
So it you want me to get the...
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Can you hear me if I just talk like this?
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is basically a blade of rock that formed through magmatic processes. This, if we're interpreting it correctly, we're describing this as a dike. This is a blade of intrusive volcanic rock that came up from the magma chamber that fed one of the lava flows that built this volcano. And it forms these, as I said, sort of a blade or a linear sort of section of rock that's about a half a meter to a meter wide. That's traditionally what dikes do in terms of the width of them. And what we're seeing is that it's a very resistant rock. It's very hard, and so it's more difficult to erode it. And so that's why it's sticking up above the rest of the formations here on the top of the seamount. So that's what we're trying to get a sample of it so that we can understand better the sort of magmatic feeders that built this volcano.
Very cool. Thank you.
Kind of on top of it. You want me to drop down?
Which one are you referring to?
The one you're going for. Yeah, you got a good angle there.
And then just slide down this.
That's what it looked like when we were lower. Let's see. You can partially see it now.
Oh, I see the pocket.
Yeah, I see the puppy. Try and stick the back jaw in there. Nice. Good angle.
It's pretty solid.
That's solid. Let's find something better. Let's find something that's fractured or, something.
How about the one on top?
Which one?
Yeah, sliver on top. Small.
Good shot. A little bit. You're fine.
Nope.
Let's find the fracture piece.
Yep. Okay, I'm off.
So one of the things I was looking at down at the base off to the right here, I don't know whether those pieces there are massive. I mean, it looks like they may have come off this wall. They can't have come from any place else, really. So I don't know if like that's loose, that bit right there.
Yeah, we can definitely try.
I just don't know if it's manganese coated or part of the dike. That's my concern. I'm not sure if I'm seeing it properly.
He's not sure.
I'm not sure, but yeah, if this crumbles, then it's probably not a piece of dike. But it looks like it's loose, and if it was a piece that fell off here, then that's good enough.
So it's not look loose anymore. Now that I'm lower, it looks like one solid sheet.
But you don't think you could get his grippers on this and see what?
Yeah, I mean we can try. But,
Yeah.
but with these rocks, like you kind of need to start finding fractures. If we continue to try to like break and break and break, eventually the arm's gonna come out. Like, it's not really made to do that. We'll give it a go.
Okay.
But, don't have a spare. That looks solid. Okay. You said it like chrome.
Oh,
Is that good,
You
man?
said you-
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So let's grip it and see if I can have a look at it.
Okay, sound good.
I can't tell if it's just a piece of the manganese crust, which it may be. You can hold it up. Yeah, that looks like manganese crust to me. So I think the
Wow.
answer is, yeah, probably not. You could put it on. You could put it on top of the yellow net. But I think we need to try to go look around more and see if we can find a piece right off the dike itself.
And you saw your piece.
Yeah, so you can put it in rock box 1.
Good. Shoulder left.
So this is event 18, and it's rock 14.
They have to try to move that head a little touch.
Okay. All right, so let's look around and see what we can see. Yeah, and so just another for instance. So this thing here,
Yeah. Very cool. That's cool. You see that loop over there?
so I was looking sort of on the face here, but these sort of behind where your manip is.
Yeah, those look fractured. That's a good spot.
I don't know. Maybe if you can sort of jiggle these out and see if you can get a grip on any of that, because that looks like it's definitely part of the wall.
Yeah.
Want to select another one in the same event?
What's that? Yes,
You're
I'm
gonna
just.
do other one in rock box one, okay? With the net. With the net.
Which event?
The 18.
Yes, yeah. This one here. I'm just going to call this all the same event, depending on
it
the
will
event.
be the same event.
It'll be the same event. Yeah, it's all from the same area.
Los animales que crecen aquí en Cristóbal, todos están, todos los corales, están con esta etiqueta, se puede saber exactamente dónde están ubicados. Esto va a ser a color, esto solo a color, pero necesitas más tiempo para procesar, porque tenemos que sacar todo del video.
So there's the hole, then there's the rock right above it right here. Smaller. We're just seeing what's loose at this point.
Yeah, it may be that you need to get a couple of those rocks out of there before
See
you
what
can.
that does. If it's loose at all, give her.
Las coordenadas de USBL. Las coordenadas, esto que tú ves aquí. Entonces eso lo uno en A, y luego lo paso a este software. Y sí, esto de acá se convierte.
Yeah, if the fingers would fit in that hole, that would be.
Pero en un mapa, tú puedes medir
Oops.
todo lo que quieres medir. Y puedes observar todo a ver a una escala bien pequeña para diferentes propósitos ecológicos.
Give you a little,
Sí,
little
el
core.
escáner va a hacerlo solamente entre
There you go. Now you're in.
rojo, verde y azul.
Yeah, it's loose. That's it. So we can get that one out of there, and maybe we can get the one to the right out of there too.
Yeah. See if you can knock the one to the right and pull it out.
Like that.
No worries.
No, so that's a good one. So stick that one in the same in Rockbox 1. So here's another piece. Great. That's great. Yep. All that can go right in there. And then we can try to go back and get the bigger piece. Now we've gotten that one out of the way.
Slip back a little bit, Ben. Let me put back up. Where'd our hole go?
It's right. It's
I
right.
see it.
It's right. I think it's right here. Right? No, right here. This guy right here.
Yeah.
It has an urchin on the top and some sponges on the right-hand side of it. That guy right there. It's that guy.
It's in moving around.
En
Dang it.
cambio, con el láser automáticamente colectamos puntos. No colectamos fotos, sino los puntos. O sea, ya todo este proceso, yo no tengo que hacerlo, porque automáticamente le recogemos los puntos. La desventaja es que ahí no vamos a tener esta resolución a colores. Queremos identificar una diferente, verlos en el video y luego hacer el overlap. Y así vamos a estudiar.
Space in the back.
It looks like there might be some space in the back, yeah. You get the top fingers over it.
And I did see it wiggle a little bit when you were getting the smaller rock. So I think it's go.
There you go.
De los que esas variables de terreno son proxies, son indicadores de nuestra corriente. Si tenemos un sitio donde haya, por ejemplo aquí, algo super vertical, encontramos un sitio específico, algo más parecido aquí, podemos tener un nivel de
There you go. That's what we want. That is the ticket.
medir los nutrientes que son mucho más
Excellent.
para preguntas ecológicas. Para preguntas geológicas no tenemos que estar colectando la roca para hacer lo que no queremos. Entonces son dos formas de llegar a la misma conclusión, pero con el láser
Excellent.
va a ser más rápido
Great job, guys.
porque ya automáticamente.
All right. So that's going in Rockbox 1 too. So all of these 3 samples we just got is all event 18 and it's rocks 14, okay? They're all rock 14, yeah. Event 18, rock 14. Great job. Yeah, just drop it in there. It's all with its friends there. Perfect. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Okay, so we're ready to keep going. Is that okay? We're biology, everybody's happy? Yeah, okay. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. This was a terrific spot. Okay. We're going to waypoint 51, right? 50, no, 52. 52.
Great. Can we carry on to the new waypoint?
Carrying on.
Thanks, Ollie.
See you later.
Satisfying texture. Like toothpaste or something. Oh yeah.
Okay. This is a great chart because it shows you the difference between this sort of tabular manganese encrusted, probably carbonate rock in front, and then the dike, how it's sticking up in the back. How it's quite different in appearance.
Yeah. Some interesting terrain here. Continuing to see these real nice rock blades here.
I'm looking at the organisms. Can we change my screen? It suddenly became a robot.
I think she wants the 4K on there, if that's possible.
Up on there? Yeah.
Thanks, Alex.
Actually, the one
Oh, down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like aquarium fish.
Fish. Lots of it.
All sorts of nooks and crannies for fish.
Yeah. We open the aperture just a tiny bit. That's great.
Some shimmering going on too. We've seen that a couple places.
Wow.
We're up to 12C in the water. So
Large colony.
toasty.
Oh, we don't have a picture of it now. An observation. Large colony. Madre pura. Oh, a lot of porphyroids on the rocks.
Lots of them.
Wow. Lots of stellastria.
Lots of starfish on that.
Porphyroids, yeah.
So we should make a note of this in terms of vertical walls for cat. This looks like a vertical wall right here.
Like a geological observation.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was interested in seeing where there might be areas where she could use the laser and multi-beam. So,
Yeah.
you know, here's another example. I mean, that dike wall is one that she might be interested in working on. But here is another one. It's and I don't know whether this is the dike or whether this is just a rib of lava. It's hard to say. It's definitely looks different than the dike exposure. right here at this position.
The community is different. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, can you take a picture of that? Make a highlight.
Want to zoom in?
Yes, please.
Let me just
Okay, that's interesting. I just saw
Yeah, that's cool.
So you can stop it down a
biological
little bit.
observation.
Close the iris a little bit. Oh, zoom in. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Very good.
That's.
Okay, did you get it, Brad?
I have it, but it's maybe we have a close up of this. Maybe a new species.
He is zoomed in.
Maybe something that we haven't collected yet. Can we do a zoom on this?
Yes, give him a minute to get in position.
Yeah, sure. Take your time. Thank you. Oh, and there is an anemone growing on top of it, and many ophiuroids. Geological observation. I think it's
You want another f-stop down?
Maybe, yeah, it'll help decrease that bright coral on the left there. Yeah, that's good.
there's one. Oh, that's even better. Wow.
Weird dude.
Should we collect that? We can collect that for the Charles Darwin.
That's a weird one.
Ah, yo le estoy diciendo. No puede ser otro igual. Es un grosado, ¿no?
tiny anemone over there.
Yeah, it's a little baby anemone on whatever that
Yeah.
stuff that's coming out of the mouth is.
Yeah. I wanna get it for the station. Can we collect this one for the Charles Darwin? I haven't seen this one specifically before.
Of course we can.
What quiver?
Chill promises for Ben.
In the bio box.
It's going to go in the bio box.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't get
Is there anything else in the bio box or not?
Not yet.
Okay.
How many in the quiver might be better?
We don't have anything in the bio box.
Yeah, it's pretty small. No, put it in
Pretty
the
small?
quiver.
Well, it could be like quiver, I think.
So it looks like this fin is attached to the rock a little bit on the other side. Would you rather me flip around so that you can see how it's attached and get the best pluck, or are you good with this?
Can you zoom up? It's a long ways.
Más probable reales, así que podemos ponerle en una bio box y decimos ahí. Igual no estamos utilizando
So,
el bio box.
but see, that's the problem. You see it right there. So there's rocks on that side of this too.
Right.
So I can possibly come up a little bit and get a little closer.
Yeah, you might want to quiver out and see.
You see what I do. Get some rounds out.
Do you think that little rock on the top is free? Like you could just pull the rock and get the animal on top of it?
It's cool.
I'm not sure.
I'm just
Definitely.
it might
That
damage
looks like
the animal less, but I can't tell if it's cemented.
It looks like this.
I'm going to pan the camera down, right?
It looks about the size of a basketball. That rock there.
No. There was actually just a sort of a flatter piece right on top that looked like it was a little fragment, but it may be cemented. It may be manganese. Well, the rest of it. The whole thing is big. Yeah, I agree.
Right. No hay nada en We can go to the bio box A. A. Because there are
Yeah, I don't see a fracture spot. I see a big ball.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I was looking at this edge right here, thinking maybe it was a crust that you could snap off. Not obvious.
Should have no problem with that. Oh yeah, you definitely won't have a problem.
Or actually, this was the edge I was looking at. You see that little edge right there? I was thinking if it's growing on the manganese, that maybe if you just snap that off, it may come off. But I'm just thinking it might have the potential to damage the animal.
Yeah, if it snaps, like sometimes how the rocks do.
Yo vi algo parecido antes, te voy a mostrar.
I think they want you to grab it at the base.
No, yo vi algo parecido
Okay, so this, do we know what kind of critter this is? Is this a crinoid? Is it a, what is this?
Oh, what is it? Hydrozoan.
You don't know?
Hydrozoan.
Hydrozoan?
Yeah.
So this is event 19.
You got your photos?
Yeah.
Look. For sure it's not a crinoid. No. Pero mira, eso es bien raro. Vamos a ver qué es. Tal vez algo grande. Pero se parece a este que vimos antes. Sobre todo por este que tiene adentro. Por eso mismo hay que...
So tiny.
Super small. Look bigger from other angle.
They put the little fingers on it.
Oh. Screenshot. Biological observation.
No, you're squeezing it. No.
Ahora sí vamos a ver lo que es, porque lo vamos a tener por primera vez.
Think about it. Top down, with your jaws sideways so you can see.
It's hard to take.
And then when you pinch, just drag it straight right instead of trying to come up. Because it just kind of skins it. You want to like scrape it off the rock basically.
Sí, es un iridario, de seguro. Pero yo creo que es un hidrozoan.
You might be able to grip
No,
that.
anemona tubo no. Yo creo que es un pero pues no. Pero es un iridario. De hecho que voy a mandarle fotos a alguien a ver si me dice exactamente eso.
There you go.
Nice job, man.
Well done.
Good, amazing.
Scrape and tug. So, this is final box?
Yep.
A.
Portion of it?
Okay. Because we are not collecting big corals, we're gonna have those empty. And you can put more in there anyway.
Alright.
Just floating that way, the current's not hurting you, see that then?
Seen better days. Alright.
Okay, well then go.
Yep. Hopefully it won't float.
We're drifting, so should.
Alright. That's good. Thank you.
Oh, it's on here.
No.
You can see on page 240 now.
Looks like you may be smushed onto the blade or something. Good. Oh, shoot.
No.
Sorry.
It went out.
Hang on.
See where he goes.
Oh, there he
Catch
goes.
it mid-flight.
Catch it. Stay. Go inside. Go inside. Go inside.
Close the lid.
Go inside. Go. Still
Oh,
there. Don't leave.
It's still down there. Still back
Still
down.
there.
Everybody relax.
Can we slurp it?
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. There he goes. Oh, we have a good idea. Is there? Go in.
Doesn't like to be close.
I think slurping it will have been a great
The
idea.
current's in your favor. Yeah.
What is it?
It's a hydrozone.
Can you move the arm?
He's gonna do his magic.
We have something similar before.
Right inside.
Yeah, he went down in the milk crate.
Is he in the milk crate with the
The
green
only
nets?
one?
Sorry.
But, well, no.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
I mean, I
He
actually,
wanna go with us. Go back.
the slurp might not be a bad idea if you think we can still track it. In
Ah.
our sights.
It's not stowed right now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He's gonna fly that in the box. Yeah, he's gonna fly that in the box.
Oh my god.
Almost.
That's
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well done.
You did not open my box.
That's amazing.
The arm is turning into the bio box. The arm.
It didn't came easy.
Reverse basketball.
Oh,
Wow. Amazing flying.
What just happened?
All right. Well, snatched from the claws of defeat. Very good.
Wow.
Good driving.
Never give up.
Yeah.
No.
Do not open that box.
Shoulder left, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's. Yeah, there you go.
It looks a bit like this thing, but this is for
All
sure
right.
an hydrozone.
Okay, so
This
now
one-
we can keep going.
Yeah, see that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it looks like a
Looks like
Mediterranean hydrozone.
You want to take it for a little bit, or you?
Sure. We got one.
All right. So
Oh,
we just did event 19. The hydrozone. So there you go. You're up to date. So that's concerned.
And you've done all the geological sampling?
Yeah.
I've been happy.
I think we're. Yes. We still have.
Oh,
I
that's
think,
nice.
900 meters to get to the other waypoint.
Okay, perfect.
Biological observation.
Oh wow, look at those fish. Wow, they're everywhere. Everywhere there's a little crack. They're there. They're hiding.
Those are called rosy jellyfish.
Wow, they're very pretty.
I've seen them in other depths in other areas too.
They're very sleepy fish.
Yeah.
Just hiding everywhere.
No.
Oh, good.
Jeff, do you think you would scan this?
I mean, that's a possibility. It depends what we find in some of the other dives. But yeah, when I saw it, I was like, okay, that could be a scanning target.
Yeah,
It
Dan
just
was suggesting it, but I don't think you were in here at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, it might be, but I don't know.
yeah, there's just not a whole there's little pockets of corals.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm holding my breath for the next dive where we have a big fault that looks like it has a wall, so stay tuned for that. Should be happening this afternoon.
When are we looking to be off bottom with this one?
11 o'clock or when we get to the waypoint.
Okay. A little over an hour, perhaps. Well done, pilots, on that.
Then are we in autofocus? I know it says we are. Did you hear that or
I took me everything.
Both are real possibilities.
Exactly. It says everything's blurry all the time.
I think it's in focus.
Lots of distillation.
Oh wow.
Again.
Wow. No one's interested in the species of stylasters?
I know that James was interested before, but recently Dan asked if he wants something and he said no.
No, okay.
I can
This
write
is an
him.
entire
I wanna
wall
write
of
him.
stylaster.
So, James.
Of course you do.
I will need a switch soon. I wonder who was only want to cover down me. Sí, otra vez. Pero si quieres ir tu trabajo, normalmente puedo hacer esto. Creo que es más bien dos. Sí, me decía, ella está haciendo estimaciones de todas las masas. Y cerrar la gente que recibe la leche de
Oh! What's that one?
Look at that.
Oh, look at that amazing
Zoom on.
dendrophilia.
That's an dendrophilia?
Yep.
So different than all the other ones.
This one is very thick.
Yeah.
I think this one is the California, because you have two species here.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think this one's a collection.
Coral observation.
Let's shimmer again. Still in 12C.
Going to sample?
No?
It's the only colony here.
Yeah.
Better
Prefer to
not.
leave it.
Early this morning, we
Oh,
had a
there's another one.
There's another one?
Not the only instance. Right in front of the pink coral, about mid-screen, there's another of those dudes.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Oh, you know what you know. Okay, esto another dendrophilia.
this.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's another
this
one
guy.
of this. Yeah. Oh, nice. Good that we have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, got one.
Good eyes.
How about this white one in the back? What is that?
That's,
This one.
yeah, that's an octocoral. Can we zoom in?
Sure. Set up there.
Where's Oda? Right there.
Octocoral.
What is that? Paragorgia?
Looks like Paragorgia.
Nice.
It's the one that we sampled before?
that one, Belén?
Yeah, it looks like the one we sampled before.
Yes,
Okay,
you sample
perfect.
the
Yeah.
same thing.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah. It looks like.
The one that was really covered in a furoid as well?
Yes, exactly.
Question for Tim. Is it the same species of a furoid? They definitely look popular. Look at that.
Oh yeah, there are many
They're
here.
covered in a furoid. The stylasters? Nothing.
You guys want to hop on the other side and get a closer look or no?
Yeah, do we have one? So Tim
Sure.
is happy he can check the three of them. Yeah, if we see, yeah, if we see any black coral or bamboo coral, we should collect.
Black.
Yeah, because we haven't seen.
No, if not. It's very different coral community than the previous dives we've had.
It is.
Very
It is.
different.
There is not much biodiversity in terms of corals, but there is a lot. There are lots of stilastris.
Yeah.
This is the same. Hoya rosada, jewel, rosy jewel.
This is
Yeah.
the same one, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're just covered in fjords.
Biological observation.
Sorry. Hoya rosada?
See, the fish.
Fish,
So,
yeah.
The fish, yeah.
It's just
It's like
so pink.
rosy jewel. That could be. So,
Alright, got that. So.
Apparently I used up all my piloting skill to find that thing in there. Trying to get in here and find out this color.
that's good. Coral observation. Wow. Discover on
There we go.
Oh,
read the
beautiful.
stars. Oh, that's better. I have to cancel my. Just hold it. Just a second. Coral observation. When do I make? Yeah.
You got it?
Yep.
Alright, perfect. Oh. Polyps are so big on this coral.
Yeah.
That thing was said last week in exam.
The one that is thinner is the one that is only in Galapagos. This one is we can see in other places. Ah, you see? Sí, agrafenia. Huge.
Keep going.
Yep. Thank you.
Y era lo que costó pescar una hora
Se quería escapar.
Salió volando.
Alright, let's keep going.
Ahora que se acabe este outro, yo voy a salir otra vez.
No
Cambiamos.
salvos que hay que sacar, ¿no?
Sí, yo sé, ahora que se acabe solo porque quiero ver este. Que se acabe y ya, ahorita cambiamos.
No estamos en el mismo. En el mismo sector. No, ya no estamos en el Si quieres tomar territorio aquí, te vas a entrar. La profundidad estamos a 328.
Is it too dark, Pat?
No, I think that's all right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we drop a mapping target in the observations?
Mapping target.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
might as well
Mapping
have
target.
a.
Vertical wall.
You want to
Potential.
I think that's all right if we have it in the sea log. We didn't have it in sea log before, so that's
Full fish.
this is beautiful.
Few amount of water.
Very different from any other walls I've seen.
And Rossi.
I think it should work if you wanted to use it. You probably just have to redesign the holes. They're a little bigger. It's only like a little bigger.
Wow.
It's enough. Like, it's a lot.
Okay. Si quieres, Jorge, cambiar. If you want to come, it's fine. I can go toilet.
All right, we got a little bit of a watch change happening here. We've got Russ jumping into pilot seat, and Zach's going to be in co-pilot.
Zach, could you turn on down?
It just keeps getting cooler.
Yeah, we can just stay.
It is nice to have a shower.
There was nothing. It's shallower than.
Now it's better.
So this is a different ridge
A lot of
than
the.
Yeah.
a different part of the ridge than we were on before.
That's
Oh, so you were going to New Mexico?
Entonces yo vengo en un par de horas y nos cambiamos.
And Dan got all the geological samples he wanted.
Did that rock break easy enough, or?
They got a pizza then. They had to find some.
What's that stuff at the bottom?
Yeah.
What's that? Is it okay if I zoom in?
Sure.
Hmm.
You see that sea star track?
The really big one? I missed it, but I'm just curious what this is.
Polycid tubes, maybe.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Worm tubes.
Worm tubes. That's a lot of worms. I missed the sea star.
This way you get a better of my set. Could you, Zach, can you drop that down? On the set, can you drop my house?
The geological, yes.
Well, we're just dropping the pipe. Good. Well, it's not about a way when it's in the darkness. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. That's a massive layer. Too big. Move for you. Please.
Bridge, RV. Bridge, RV.
RV bridge.
You,
Thank you very much.
Some rocks coming up. You see in this camera here?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right over that side.
Okay.
Far away.
Is that one giant thing?
Kind of looks weird, yeah. Fleet. Just a weird rock.
Interesting here is that this is a completely different heading than the other one, you know?
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of fine scale complexity in what's going on.
These dikes were clearly lost.
I think we're gonna need to do some finer scale shipboard mapping. We're at 300 meters, so we might have the 712 maps. See if we can see anything better. Keep going towards the waypoint. See what else we find.
Same as
Another little tiny dendrophilia.
Sí.
All right. That's our last one. Get a few more close-ups.
Go straight on.
Yeah, we can keep going a little bit. We have till 11.
I was talking about as far as the head of yellow, we need him to grab me.
Sorry?
No, I'm going to head back right.
So we have one more waypoint, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at all those urchins.
We take a close look at those worms. Make sure they're worms.
Which ones?
Like those masses on the rocks.
Okay, can we stop for a second?
This one here, is that good?
I think I can probably here.
These will sit there.
Okay.
Let's see anything that looks live. Or that's out. Oh yeah, definitely tubes.
Definitely, huh?
Yeah.
Let me make a frame graph here.
Good?
Yes.
Going towards the next waypoint. Wow, look at all the particles coming down.
How aquí los penazulazos, ¿verdad? ¿O no? Ajá.
Oh, oh, is that a black coral? Did we need any black corals? First one I've seen this dive.
Lots of little worms now.
Polychaetes?
Yeah.
Lots of polychaetes. Coral negro.
That guy.
Yeah.
That's a good eye.
Do we need a sample?
She didn't say that.
Okay. Keep going with the video Transect.
We already collected that species
Perfect, then
in a former guide, but I don't know if she needs for anything else, but she didn't say anything.
Okay. It's the only one we've seen, so
Yeah,
we'll
it's
leave
the
him
only
be.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Keep spreading
This
your
is
that's
larvae.
the start.
This is sun star.
Oh yeah.
Esa es la zona star.
Uh-huh. Beautiful.
Now there's a little off the side of the center up there.
Yeah. Oh, that's tiny bit. That sea star moving, it's going pretty good.
Sea rubble.
It's weird. It's like, I didn't see those for a long time, and I was watching.
They're one of my favorite fish. This like sort of range.
So I didn't end up being geologically interesting.
At
the top.
Yes, at the end, at the top. Yeah, I mean,
Instead of the bottom.
I'm a little amazed that you didn't see more outflows at the bottom. Jeez.
Maybe.
I mean, I think it speaks to how old these things are.
Yeah,
You know,
and
that's
like
the other thing.
lots of sedimentation. Oh, skate.
Nice. Yeah.
Trying to camouflage himself.
Trying to
Did
hide.
you guys see another one of those weird hydrozones?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
2 more. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We didn't say holding.
I was going to say. Depopulate.
Probably rocks now.
star you said?
Well,
Yeah,
don't quote me. No, taxonomies.
All right, if you're just tuning in, looks like we got some folks coming in right now. We are towards the end of this, our 5th dive of the Vertical Reefs of Galapagos expedition. We're still making our way up. We're doing a video transect here from waypoint 52 to 53. And then we'll be making a quick ascent because we're pretty shallow. Not moving any faster, but just don't have far to go for that ascent. Then the hope is to move a little bit, and we're looking to get back in the water later this afternoon or evening. Can't really give you an exact on that. We got to do a little bit of stuff in between. But yeah, if you're just joining us, it's been a nice little leg here. We've been looking at these sort of stone blades or perhaps like rock dikes. Just got some different corals on them, that sort of thing. We've collected a couple rock samples, a couple biological samples. So this is a sample dive, a sampling dive, and the next one as well is expected to be, but at some point we'll be putting that laser scanner back on Sebastian and doing some more mapping with the ROV. Like I said, pretty shallow, just 320 meters or so, and still headed upslope. Nope. Aw, they're so cool. Yeah, so if you want to sort of try and guesstimate the size of things you're seeing on stream, right? We've got 2 green laser dots right in the middle of, well, maybe like the lower third there, but those 2 green laser dots are 10 centimeters apart. So that's why we leave those on for a lot of this, is it provides sort of a scale bar for the scientists that might be reviewing the footage later, or even just now, honestly, to determine the size. And the pilots kind of use it as well when they're asked, you know, can we sample that? Can we grab that rock? Because sometimes it's really difficult to judge the size of things when we're zooming in on them and zooming back out. And it's nice to just have 10 centimeters right there.
It also allows us to get an estimate of the width of the image that we are collecting, so we can try and turn things into having an idea of how much we've sampled, so we can get closer to density, whether we've sampled a lot, seen a lot of the same animal within a small area or within a big area.
You're right, running a transect of a known width, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little tricky when we're not completely down looking, but it's at least gives us at the laser line what the width of the transect would be.
Yeah. No, I remember doing transects in forestry science in school, and it was like you'd get a tree just on the edge, and it's like, this is the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually when we do video analysis, the quantitative, we wouldn't look in the corners, top corners, those would be too far out. We get sort of so we stay near the lasers, so we stay within our transect.
Yeah, yeah. It's been interesting on this expedition so far to see the sort of variances in terrain that we've been going over. I remember that little depression we went into that had the real cool ripples and it was much more sandy sediment. a few dives back, and then we've been going past these little dike walls, but now we're kind of in this stone rubble here compared to the coral rubble we've seen elsewhere. So.
And we started the dive in sediment.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool, those little transects that make their way from one completely different substrate to the next. Temperature's back down just a smidge. We're sub 12 degrees now. For a while we were up above.
I'll be doing a CTD before our next dive, because there does seem to be a lot going on in the water column.
Yeah. Well, we keep seeing these areas with shimmer, right? So there's something changing in the water. There's some sort of mixing going on. So.
And steep changes in temperature.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very cool. Oh, folks asking about the odd little fish that tried to race us for a moment there. Yeah, we've been seeing quite a few of those batfish on this expedition.
Oh, look at this one here.
He didn't move, so we didn't see him. We seem to be seeing some more sponges in the last few minutes.
Yes, please. Take about 6 at least. Stop the ice goodness.
Toss that up for you real quick there. You can see down at the bottom there, we're leaving waypoint 52. We're headed up. So we are headed up to waypoint 53. Up there. Thank you, Zach.
Fly a little closer.
What are all these weirdos doing? Sticking their head in caves? It's behind.
They really like
Yeah.
little holes.
Yeah, they're
These
cool.
fish.
What are these called?
Oh yeah.
Rosie U.
Rosie U?
Rosie U.
Rosie U. What? It's cool.
Weather's not looking too bad out there now.
All right. Yep. Oh yeah, probably.
Nice pair of fish there. Just two of them cruising along.
Getting pretty shallow now. Transect are getting near the end of the transect.
So when we get to this 53, we'll probably be recovered?
Sorry?
Yeah.
They will be recovered.
Do you have a estimated time to waypoint?
Yeah, so some ROVs do have stereoscopic cameras on them, and there's like there's a screen, a 3D screen inside the van for using that particular camera. We don't have that on ROV Sebastian, and speaking with some of the pilots here who have had some experience working with those, they're not huge fans, it sounds like. seems like it might be a little headache inducing to work with.
Just update your waypoint, and we're going to speed up to about double.
So in short bursts, 3D cameras and monitors could be helpful, but doing the whole dive in them, obviously, probably not. Stereoscopic cameras can also be used on landers. That's another one. And one benefit there, kind of similar to how we were talking about parallax being useful for structure from motion analysis and 3D model generation. If you know the specifics of the layout of your two cameras, it's not necessarily for getting a 3D image of, like, let's say a shark goes in front of your lander, but if you know the angles that the cameras are to each other, then you can draw a line from the same point, or from between 2 points on the same fish at the same time on the two different cameras, and you can actually measure between those 2 points. So it can be useful for scaling fish in your lander footage. So in each picture, you would like click from, like leading edge of the fin to back of the fin, or wherever you might be using to measure on your fish. And because you know how the two cameras are angled to each other and taking into account the parallax that you might see, you can figure out the size.
We're leaving it on unless we need it. Well, no, but we have a spare, but it's got to be activated by sonar dying, and it's got to be updated with firmware and all this stuff.
Yeah, generating point clouds, both for modeling and just general analysis. Definitely becoming more of a thing. Like I said earlier, the photogrammetry becoming much more accessible, much more easily done, is a big, big thing. And, when we're talking about being able to get like millimeter resolution in some of these models, then it just comes time to actually training, an algorithm to ID what you're seeing, because obviously once you get down to, even just centimeters, you can start IDing critters that you're seeing. And so we just have to train the algorithms at that point. And there's projects trying to do that. If you think about how long this expedition is and the hours of footage that are being produced and the multiple cameras that are on board, and then just how much raw data it is, right? I mean, it's very challenging to go over all of that. it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of resources. And so trying to assist that with machine learning models is something quite a few folks are taking a look at right now. Yeah, we were talking earlier, I've done scans of items we have on the ship just with my phone, and it's like, are they millimeter accurate? They can be. They can get down to it on some details. Reflections are still challenging for non-LiDAR phones. Like, I've got an Android, right? So iPhone 3D scanning can take advantage of some different stuff they've got on there, and but we're making progress. There's real good, I believe, machine learning assisted photogrammetry programs now that actually can figure out mirrors and reflective surfaces and that sort of thing. It's really, really cool. So progress is being made. Yeah, so NVIDIA's got a big one. If you're like, what's NVIDIA? Graphics, computer graphics company primarily. But they've got a new model out called NERF. And by new, it's like a year or two old at this point, but really exciting stuff. And that has been fascinating to see people work with. Some really, really cool stuff coming out of that. So I'm excited just for my own, like, what could I do hobby-wise? But I'm really excited to see what sort of stuff we can start doing with, ROV footage and the data that's being collected with that ROV, and what sort of models we can actually start building.
Oh yeah. Always do. That's a solid stuff. So many legs.
Oh, goosefish there, going right past the right side of lasers.
You want to do all shortly? Yeah.
Still seeing these sponges. And we're almost above 300 meters now. Yeah, smell-o-vision for ROV dives would be not great for a lot of it, probably. I remember for the Underworld of Hydrothermal Vents, right, they had the high-pressure lab on the back where they were making hydrothermal fluid, basically, from scratch. And you could smell it. It's, just sulfurous. And that was just like the trace smell of it. I wouldn't want to be getting just the straight hydrothermal vent smell. And the ROV, yeah, someone mentions ROV can smell. It can. I've been around an ROV that was brought up after poking at some methane seeps, and yeah, you smell it on the ROV for sure. Some squids can be very bad. Robust clubhook squid. Those are pretty smelly. I've dissected some of those. Very large liver. Not a great smell.
Oh yeah. You ever say you just couldn't quite find
it. They've got a lot of oils, but they also have ammonia. So.
I know recovering at noon is not a great timing, so if you want to come up the bottom a little earlier so it's easier for everyone, that's also okay.
You mean like you haven't seen something?
We haven't seen anything new, so I'm feeling comfortable if you want to recover now. So that,
yeah, two different smells. So if you're dissecting a squid that's got decent liver, that's not great. If you puncture that, that's not a great smell. And then something, actually I think the club hook probably was primarily the ammonia. Onychia robusta. Used to be Moroteuthis when I was a kid.
Let's call it the end.
It's very confusing.
Sorry, I told you a fib. Turns
They know
out
the
we are
waypoint and
going to
everything.
go ahead and move into
I'll let
recovery.
you know now.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Fantastic. You want me to stop the move as well?
Yes, you can go ahead and stop your move and notify the deck guides, and we'll get our people in place as well. But no rush, we'll just prepare.
Copy that. See you 300 meters, so it's going to be pretty short, right?
Yeah, that's right. We'll be up shortly.
Thank you.
Okay, let me let the boys know here.
Yeah, I'll just get in position. I won't come up to you there.
I'm going to go next.
Yeah. You tell the biologist it's not going to take very long to get up.
Yeah.
Have the water and the food and all that stuff.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And you don't need any water samples.
No, we don't need any misses.
Yeah, so the one I'm thinking of with the liver, so the Onychia was probably the ammonia, and then the squid with crazy livers were like Argentine shortfin squid, I think. So.
All right, we're good. If they're happy, we can go ahead. We'll just wait at 200 meters for them to get on comms.
You want to start picking up easy? All right.
Picking up easy. Haulers are on.
Is that a soft bottom then?
Off bottom.
All right, marking off bottom. Well, folks, that is us off bottom for this for this particular dive, not cruise. We've got another dive, hopefully going back in later this afternoon is the plan. We're pretty shallow, right? We are less than 300 meters from the surface, so we're going to stick around for a little bit here, see what we see.
You happy with your screen and all that there, Russ?
Yeah.
And I'll be turning mics down here a little bit, but we'll be hanging out, and then I'll do one last sign off before we're done. All right, so we are about 50 meters below surface. So we're going to be recovering pretty shortly here. I'll leave the stream going. We're just looking at the rear camera right now. And I'll leave it go until we're at surface. Supposedly there's a shark cruising around somewhere. So we'll see if we see it. But otherwise, we're hoping to be back in the water later this afternoon. We do have CTD and some other stuff to do in between. So time is flexible. But hope to see you on our next dive.